Osama Osagi is going to do the punting duties for the Bengals tonight. A couple of guys back to Santo and Kaporis. We'll wait for Lemont. Low kick, line drive, turf bounce. They both tried to return it for a second. Kaporis will try and elude a tackler. He won't get very far.
And as much as you like aggressiveness, one guy is supposed to be calling that for the other guy to get out of the way.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Now, the game of the week travels to Glen Ellen for a conference clash in the Old West Suburban Silver. Tune in to CN 100 Sunday, September 29th at noon as the Red Devils of Hinsdale Central visit the Hilltoppers of Glenbard West. For additional air dates and times, you can visit cn100.tv. Both teams at 2-1. I have never seen a game at Glenbard West. I'm going to have to, it's on the bucket list.
Returning state champs.
Yeah.
That's my buddy Chad Headlet is the head coach. I coached with him at Libertyville when he started his career.
One heck of a defense he had a year ago.
Yeah. And he had a fine tight end / wide receiver, Marcus, about 6'5", and this kid, he had great hands at 6'5" and primary receiver.
It helps being 6'5",
yeah.
just from that standpoint.
It does.
Penalty there for Oak Forest. It makes it 1st and 5 for Lemont. Two receivers to the top. Chris Thompson will hand it off to Larkins. It's a couple there, maybe one or two.
Larkins is their power back. He's the guy that does the dirty work inside, so he's going to get the ball a lot in there, try to establish that middle.
Brian Mittler in on the tackle, the senior linebacker. Makes it 2nd and about 3 or 4. We'll call it 3. It's kind of between there. They mark it at the 43. DeSanto and Kaporis split out to the top. Thompson will give to Larkins some room to run. Can he turn the corner? Yes, he can. There's a flag on the play, and he's going to get deep into the 30, but it looks like it's going to come back. Let's see. Wondering how he turned the corner. I think he got a little help.
Yeah, but he made a nice run to bounce it outside there. But unfortunately, as you mentioned, it's probably going to come back. But a very impressive run.
The crew discusses. And the holding call, it will come back. That is the 4th penalty against Lemont. That is a big one right there. Let's see where it is.
Yeah, 68 might have had the left hand on the back of the jersey. I hate to call him out like that, but he was trying to do his best.
You're right in the middle of the replay there. Connor Melvin just jumped out at you as he was trying, and what happens is you try and overpower your guy, and sometimes your leverage hurts you.
Yeah, we get in that wrestling mode, that wrestling match mode. Then it's about who has the strength, the upper body strength.
So instead of being inside the 30, we're going the other way now at the 36, and it's a 2nd and 10 situation for the Indians coming up. Really just a 7-yard penalty, but consider the run. It's a different story. Play fake, Thompson being chased. Thompson rolling the other way, and an interception. That is Patrick Kristen with his first interception of the season, and Oak Forest will take over in Indian territory. The Bengals saw that play one too many times, and Kristen read it pretty well.
Well, that inside pressure came in. You're going to see, watch number 59 come from the inside out. He pressures Thompson. The corner comes up, and he was reading his eyes the whole way. He's watching. That's what happens when a young quarterback stares down the receiver, and the cornerbacks are watching his eyes. Just comes over, steps in front of the receiver, makes a nice interception.
Don't know if you caught it on that replay, but Kristen made about 4 or 5 steps to get his depth, and that's a sign of a pretty smart linebacker. So kudos to him as he gets the turnover, and Oak Forest will take over at the 46 of the Indians. Can they cash in to the up back? That's Barry again, and that's a good chunk of yards inside the 40, taking down Jason Kepke as he makes the play. But that's a big turnover here with under 3.5 minutes to go.
Bailey coming up with something nice there.
On the ground for the night, Barry with 50 yards. They've been going to him quite a bit. 13 carries on the night. One receiver each side, and their wing tee set. Sufia will keep it. Cut it inside and gets to about the 35. He had a pitch man if he wanted him, but Sophia hanging on, ball security, and we've seen the turnovers mount. Just hang on to the football and get what you can.
In the option, it's a sequencing thing. First, you start with the fullback, the ride, and the quarterback keeps it. He's got the pitch man, as you mentioned, Matt, but he decides to turn it up and hold, get what he can.
Credit Josh Rogers really for having enough space to kind of force the issue, too, and force him inside. Still first down, Barry ahead, and about 4 that time. And Oak Forest's offense averaging 4, 5, 4 yards a carry. And
as you mentioned, when you can get 5 or 6 on first down, that's nice for the coordinator. It sets up his next call, makes it pretty. He's got a lot of levity, a lot of things that he can call.
It's 4.4 a carry on the night for the Bengals. Second down and 7. Sophia will keep it. Cuts around the corner, slips inside one guy, and he picked up about 3 or 4 yards as a result. And that's inside the 20.
You see some nifty footwork by Sophia. Nice fake, gets to the edge. Now watch his feet. Real quick feet, ducks inside there. You can't teach that. This is instinctive.
See, well-composed quarterback as a running back. It's like having an extra running back out there.
Yeah, he is. He's a slash type of athlete, if you want to call it that. Quarterback / wide receiver / runner. He does it all.
Sophia will give it to Barry. And the line pushes forward again for a couple of more yards. And the timing of this is working out nicely for the Bengals with under 2 minutes to go.
And the thing about these 10, 12, 13 play drives is it wears out the defense, and the offensive line starts to get confidence in making these blocks. You ask them what they like to do. They want to fire off the ball and run that football. And the offensive linemen love that. They start to get that unifying thing going.
Start the clock again after pulled everybody off the line for just a minute. Sophia will start things once again. He'll keep it this time. Right side, inside the 10. Pushes a tackler out of the way to the end zone for the touchdown. Nick Sophia for his second score of the day. And Oak Forest in command here at Lemont.
That was a beautiful run, a nice read, and what you're going to see, the thing I was impressed with was he lowered his shoulder and delivered the flipper. You're going to see it right here. He takes on the tackler, watch him lower his shoulder right here, boom, knocks him off, goes in for the touchdown. That's called finishing the run.
Impressive. Nick Sophia has been nothing but throughout the night, and they're going to go for 2 after the extra point in the last touchdown. Didn't work out the way they'd like. And this would make it a 14-0 game here. Nick Sophia will take it. First he puts a man in motion. Then he will look to throw this time. How about that? First completion of the night. And no problem. As Oak Forest gets the 2-pointer, Andrew McGalley. Normally on defense, he catches the 2-pointer.
Well, he's amassed 89 yards rushing tonight, but this time he decides to pull up and throw it and converts on the extra point. Nice.
Nobody around Andrew. His eyes got big, trying to make sure those big paws brought it in. 14-0. And they've, again, points off the turnover. We've seen the turnovers play in both sides. First the interception. That set things up, Kristen. And then 6 plays, and it's up the middle to the side. Sophia with room to run, slides by a tackler right here. Nick Sophia showing it all and all the weapons as he pushes that tackler out of the way and getting into the end zone. How about that?
When he lowers that shoulder, I love that.
Senior, very experienced and having a good night. 14 carries for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns.
He's going to be sore at the end of this night.
Yeah, that's one of these. When you play against the Lemont defense and you're playing this kind of offense and you're the battering ram, you're going to be sore on Saturday morning. An impressive performance by Oak Forest so far. Lemont held scoreless on their own field. Lemont, their struggles at home have continued in 2013. Squib kick there. Mishandled. Kaporis ends up with it. And he'll be taken down at the 32-yard line. Earlier in the week, we caught up with Coach Michelson of Lemont, and we asked him about his sophomore quarterback.
Chris Thompson came in. He's a sophomore, came in the second half of the first game, and he provides a little bit of a different dimension for us. He's able to make plays with his feet as well as throwing the ball. But he's young. He's still learning what we want and what kinds of things to look for. So, we'll see how he does as we head into the conference schedule. But we're excited about his potential.
And they should be excited about him because we've seen him do a lot of good things with his feet. And here he is throwing, Kaporis. And he gets the first down. The impressive thing is we've seen for a young guy, he can throw on the run with pretty good control.
He's got composure. You can see that. And the fact that he's got a short memory, he comes out here on the same route, throws a nice ball, gets it in the catchable place for his receiver. So that's all you can ask about execution from a young guy. The thing that he's got to be careful about is not telegraphing to the defense where he's going to throw the ball. I think they're going to have to work with some short throws.
A guy like Kaporis, who's a junior, could be a go-to guy for him next year when Thompson becomes a junior. They go the other way this time. And it's incomplete, but a penalty comes in late. Let's see what this one is. Chris Thompson coming in is thrown for almost 400 yards. It's about 50% from a pass completion standpoint. You can see where it comes from. The rollouts and the outside, they like to make sure his feet help him with the passing game.
And also, too, what it does is set up the option for him to run the ball if it's not there.
The sixth penalty of the first half for Lemont. They only have 6 first downs, and that's not a good stat to have when you're even with penalties and first downs.
Yeah, 6 penalties. Wow. Coach is going to talk to him about that. If you erase those mistakes, you give yourself a chance to win, but you can't beat yourself on the small things.
Makes for a long film session on Monday.
It does. You start to pick it apart.
And Thompson in shotgun. First time we've seen this at this point. First down and 15. And the clock is running. Thompson looking for help. Gets around the edge and a lot of room to run across the 45, across midfield. And he gets out of bounds. A nice pickup. About 20 yards there for Chris Thompson.
Thompson looking for his primary receiver, decides to put it down and run it. And then he knows where the sticks are, and he just gets out of bounds enough for first down yardage. And he's got some speed. You can see that when he gets to the outside.
He has that confidence to know where he gets to the corner, he's going to beat the guy around the edge. It's the longest play for Lemont in the first half, about 19 yards there. First and 10, 48 seconds left. Thompson going the other way this time. Sets up, throws, has a man, but it's intercepted. Oak Forest running the other way. That's Demetrius Graham out of bounds in Indian territory. Another mistake. And the Bengals take advantage.
Well, they're having him throw the ball across his body. All the rollouts are to his left. And for an experienced quarterback, that's difficult. And what he's got to assess is whether he's throwing it a 2 or 3 man coverage. And right there, the ball just gets away from it. It sails. And so that was an accuracy thing. It wasn't so much the coverage as accuracy here.
Right in between there, right over Kaporis' head. But now Oak Forest a chance with 36 seconds left to do something. And they have not tried or converted a field goal at all this season. So it'll be interesting to see what Oak Forest does with it. But still, 3 turnovers. That's a second interception and a fumble in the first half. Sophia will keep it, and room to run up the middle. Nearly got out of the tackle inside the 35.
A nice shoestring tackle there by Jeremy.
They have 1 timeout to work with here. And watching that clock, 13 picked up on that run. And the clock runs. I think maybe 1 more play before they think about that timeout. Sophia, counter this time. Rago gets inside the 25, just bowling his way down to the 24. And they'll stop the clock for the chains, but I think the timeout will be used here as well.
Rago a little bit shaken up there, but he gets up to his feet, gets a little help from his teammates. That was a perfect offensive call for the blitz that they had on the counter. and they kind of caught him. They ran away from the blitz, and there was a hole there, a soft spot on that left side of the line, Matt.
We haven't seen a whole lot of Rago, but we know he's effective. And he's also a little banged up. You saw him kind of limping as he heads over to the sideline there. Oak Forest a chance to put some more points on the board here if they can do something with it here in 14 seconds. 182 yards in the ground for Oak Forest, and we have not gotten to halftime yet.
Well, the ironic thing about it is it's been Lemont over the history that's been known for its terrific offensive lines, and today the opposite is happening. Oak Forest is really, their offensive front is doing the job against Lemont.
On the average for the season, the Bengals about 250 a game. So by being at 190, just shy of the 190 mark, they're very effective.
They're on pace, yep.
Doing all right so far. Out of the timeout, 1st and 10. Bury the lone setback. And Sophia, they spread the guys out. 3 receivers to the top. That's where Sophia rolls. Throws deep and a little bit too long for Rago. They overloaded that side. Look at end zone here for the next couple of plays.
Well, you saw like a single receiver in a 3-man coverage zone. It's similar to what the young quarterback saw, but in this case, he threw the ball away. You could see he made the right choice. So knowing when to throw the ball away and then coming back to the next down is critical in your decision making if you're a young quarterback. That's one of the things that he's going to have to get used to, is making better decisions. That's all.
And for Sophia, having played quarterback a year ago, not throwing a whole lot, and understanding that the offense is about running the football. 10 of 16 coming in on passing. That's not bad from a percentage
standpoint. Not at all.
2nd down and 10, but 9 seconds really the key here. Sophia, fade route to the right side, and Rago, I got tripped up a little bit. Don't know if he was going to be able to chase that down either way.
No, and he threw that away. He saw that it wasn't there. That ball was out of bounds, and that's, there you go. That's what I'm talking about, the judgment. Maybe a young quarterback might have tried to force it.
They are going to, yeah, it looks like they're going to try it for maybe a field goal, or at least considering it. That's Mike Woj-Tanowski who's on the field. And Rago will hold. This will be a 41-yard attempt. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first attempt at a field goal for Oak Forest this season. So we'll see what kind of leg he has. 4 or 5 and extra points coming in. He's already missed 1 extra point. Snap and the hold are good. The kick is very low, didn't have a shot. And it's a live ball. Oh, here's the return for Lemont. Can they get anything going?
He's got a
Sean McPartland and chased down from behind. And Mike Walsh made sure nothing that was going to end up viral on the internet was going to happen after that. So that ends the first half. It has been all Oak Forest. 14-0. That rushing attack for nearly 190 yards has been effective, and the Bengals have owned Lemont in the first half. Too many turnovers for the Indians, 3 of those, and the Bengals have taken advantage of those and gotten some points out of it as well. A good first half for those Bengals as they head off the field on the road here at Lemont. And let's send it down to Eric Schmidt. Eric?
Thank you very much. Well, Coach, the positive with the time of possession, your offense is still at least going to be a little fresh. What's the key to stop an Oak Forest ground game for you guys, though?
Yeah, we got to get more physical up front. We're getting beat up front pretty much on both sides of the ball. So until that changes, we're in trouble.
I know every week you want to take something positive out for your young players in particular. What so far in the first half can you build on at least for the second half?
You know, that we made some mistakes and we're still 2 scores down. So we get some things cleaned up, we'll be all right.
You're right, Coach. Could be worse. Thanks for the time. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. You got a sophomore in the linebacking core and a sophomore up front. A couple of juniors, a little youth get pushed around up front. Not good.
That was the voice of optimism. Did you hear that? That's a guy that's been there before.
14-0. Bengals lead at the half here. We'll be right back.